Hello, and welcome to Bloodhaus, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm your host, Joshua Conkel.
And I am yearning to succumb to an ancient darkness, Drusilla Adeline. Welcome to another week and to the end of another year with Bloodhaus.
Yes, this is technically our New Year's episode, and it's our 150th episode, I believe.
Yeah, so, this is a big one.
A big one. For which we have done no preparation whatsoever, as usual. How was your Christmas?
My Christmas was very lovely, very cozy. We opened presents with family via, internet devices on remotely on Christmas Eve, and then we spent Christmas morning together, giving each other gifts and cooking and baking and stuff like that. And then we kind of just like impromptu had people over around like noon or something, because we were just like, well, we have gifts to give to these people and they are not leaving for the holidays, so might as well come on over. And we had people over and hanging out for the majority of the day, and we exchanged gifts with people, and it was a great time. It was really, really lovely. I, was very sad I wasn't able to go visit family this year. It was something I really, really, really wanted to do. And when that option was taken off the table for me, I was very let down by that. So it was really nice to be able to, on the actual day, still be able to fill the house with people I love and care about quite a bit.
Nice.
So that was really, really, really lovely and really, really special. And then, having time off with Ivory, both of us having time off, has been really amazing. We've had deeply cozy days of just like lounging around and watching art movies, or heading out to the theater to catch some of the big new Christmas releases. Or we've also we went out to like arcades and did karaoke and had big kind of blowout nights. It's been really, really, really lovely. I am not looking forward to going back to work.
Yeah.
How about you? How was Christmas for you? I know you guys traveled for it.
It was good. We just got back an hour or so ago. We drove up to Washington to see my family, and we rented a little beachfront cottage about 5 minutes from my parents. We took Edie, who'd never been up before. She was really miserable in the cold and rain. We discovered very quickly that she absolutely loses her shit in the car when the windshield wipers came on. Because I guess she's never seen windshield wipers. She's a California girl, even though she's 7, which is 40 something in human years or dog years. But it was really nice, very peaceful. It's fun to drive up the coast as always. And very refreshed. Mm-hmm. So New Year's, what are your favorite movies of the year, new movies that you saw?
Just in general, 2024 flicks? Yeah. Okay. I mean, we've covered some and talked about some on the podcast. My number one movie of the year is The Substance.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah.
100%.
For 100%. Listeners that I'm sure are already well aware of The Substance, we have covered it as a full episode on the show. So you can go back just a little bit and listen to that for our full takes, other than knowing that, that's the number one of the year for both of us, apparently.
Yeah.
I will say I did get to catch the new Almodovar movie, The Room Next Door.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
With Tilda Swinton and Julianne Moore. It's marvelous. I mean, it's the first English language feature from Almodovar, which is kind of crazy, odd and life-changing.
It is, yeah.
It's really, 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 really good. It's absolutely magical. I cried so hard. It hit me really close to home. I deeply loved it.
I saw someone I follow say that they didn't like it, but then they were also like, I've never really liked Almodovar, and I was like,
well, yeah. It was weird because I saw it at the big AMC in Burbank, which is where people go to see Avengers movies and stuff like that. And the audience seemed a little uncomfortable with it, and some of the audience was in it, some of the audience wasn't, and there was a film bro superhero looking dude next to us with a buddy in like a hoodie who was like texting through the whole movie, and I'm like, what are you doing here?
Death penalty.
What do you do? Why are you here? Like, I know, like, oh, it's Julianne Moore, it's Tilda Swinton, all this stuff, but like, do you not know who Pedro Almodovar is? If not, why are you here? Like,
I'm guessing the answer is no.
Yeah. Maybe if you're like a fan of those two actresses, and you're like trying to expand your horizons, hopefully it can be a gateway drug for you. But I don't know. As a massive Almodovar fan, it just fit in perfectly with his entire cycle. So I loved it. I am also, as listeners of this year will remember, a big sucker for Guy Maddin. So his new movie Rumours with Evan and Galen Johnson, starring Cate Blanchett, I thought was incredible and super underrated. I also bought a collage from Guy Maddin this year that just arrived in the post, so that's going up. And then I'll quickly just rand off a bunch of other ones I loved. I loved Love Lies Bleeding. I loved Problemista. I loved Conclave, The Beast, The Featherweight. I deeply loved. I loved The Brutalist. I loved Rebel Ridge. I loved Hundreds of Beavers, Anora, Kinds of Kindness, Cuckoo, Strange Darling, Oddity, Maxine, The Vertilac, Monkey Man, Lisa Frankenstein. It's been a really fucking banner year, especially for genre films.
Yeah, I think it's been a great year for horror. I was gonna say my other favorite was Anora, which I know that you kind of have mixed feelings about. I think that Sean Baker, is like the king of realism right now. He's so good at it. I love his work. I loved Anora. I know that you didn't like the ending. I actually found it really moving. I really liked the movie as like an anti-princess story. You know, the meaning of it is like no rich person is coming to save you. The working class is on its own. You have to save each other. And I found that really moving as a message. And I found that movie very funny and beautifully acted and really moving. I was super into it.
It's really amazing because, like you said, Sean Baker is our king of realism. He is bringing all that John Cassavetes and Rossellini to contemporary LA and New York, and Middle America, and like his early movies up to like Tangerine and Florida Project, I like deeply adore, but are in that mode and are which is not something I typically like glom onto. Watch frequently, but I like have a very special place in my heart for them. But then with the Nora, he was like, okay, but I'm gonna do a screwball comedy this time. It's still gonna have that aesthetic and be that world, but we're gonna set it in like the tone and pace of a Lubitsch movie. Have fun.
Yeah. And the other thing I would say about Anora is, to me, it is like the spiritual successor to Tangerine, which is my favorite Sean Baker movie. And also those two just feel like such a good pair. You know, they kind of speak to each other in a weird roundabout way.
They do. And you know, for this time of year, Tangerine's a great time to watch. Tangerine's a Christmas movie. Great time to put it on.
And then my other favorite new movie is the one that we're talking about today. So we'll put that off for a moment. But I have two honorable mentions that I loved. You mentioned already Oddity, I really loved. And I loved Red Rooms, the French-Canadian.
I still need to see Red Rooms.
We'll probably do it on the show soon, I imagine.
Yeah, more than likely. It's so funny that for what felt like months, me and a friend of the show, Jose, and I were messaging back and forth, being like, "Has Josh seen Oddity yet? Josh is gonna love Oddity. Why hasn't Josh seen Oddity yet? He's gonna love Oddity."
So me. It's like just such a me movie. It's got folk horror. It's got a blind psychic. It's got a cursed object shop. It's got a dark castle. It's got, it's just got like everything that I love. Yeah, I loved that movie.
It's got secret twins and hidden traps. And,
and it feels like a play a lot of the time. And it's just... It's cottagecore. Yeah, it's like very much hitting my buttons.
The worst glamping experience of your life, Oddity.
Yeah. But, it was a good year. I have to say, I really enjoyed almost everything that I saw. I really liked Maxine. I really liked In a Violent Nature. I really liked Immaculate. I really liked Longlegs. I really, like there wasn't a horror movie that I saw that I didn't really like.
I really liked Abigail, Immaculate. I really liked Trap. It's a good year for genre movies, both like in horror and like outside of that in the broader spectrum of genre too. For like action movies and sci-fi movies too. Like I loved Furiosa.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked Blink Twice. I really liked Monkey Man. I also really liked Guy Ritchie's Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Oh, I remember you talking about that.
Stupid, brainless fun. And very, very good. Very, very adept, stupid, brainless fun. Like, that's what we're doing. Even, like, shockingly, like, the new Ghostbusters movie was, like, fine and cute, and I had a good time.
Oh, do you know what? I just thought of a movie that I hated this year, and I'll say it because it's not a horror movie, so I feel like comfortable shitting on it. I have not seen a movie in a theater in years that I hated as much as I hated Twisters.
Oh, I
which was like
this.
So painfully tedious, so boring. I just hated everything about it. It was like nails across a chalkboard to me. I hated it.
It's funny. I have a friend that listens to the podcast and follows both of us. Is like a friend of mine for a little bit now and listens to the podcast and follows you, I think, on social and on Letterboxd because he listens to the podcast. And he watched Twisters and was like, I don't know what Josh is on. Josh needs to get off his soapbox. Twisters is great. He's so wrong. What's wrong with him? And I was like, you've never met each other.
It's the most boring movie I've seen in years. I was bored to tears. And so was my whole friend group, all of whom love Twister, a movie that I've never seen and now will probably never watch because
Josh,
I hated Twister so much.
You wouldn't like Twister. I'm so sorry.
I'm sure I've been avoiding it since it came out. Yeah. I was a teenager when it came out and I was like, I don't want to watch that movie. No, thank you.
And
but
you
now people are telling me that I would like it.
To make you feel better, I don't like Twister either, and I have no plan to watch Twisters.
Thank you. I feel very validated.
Though I will say I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get a sequel to Twister in 2003 where it would have been Twisters with a Z. And like all the marketing would have been on like Mountain Dew bottles.
Yeah. There's still time. You never know. What is your favorite movie that you watched first time for the podcast? Could be an old movie.
Oh my God. We watched so many movies this year. And this is now the third year that we've been doing this, by the way, which is like...
Isn't that crazy?
Bonkers to me. We've been doing about 50 movies a year, not including like the double features that we do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's bonkers to me. I think the movie that I watched for the very first time this year that I loved the most... I don't know if you're gonna agree with me. Is Jean-Pierre Mockey's Litane? The absurdist kind of like surreal French nightmare that we watched this year. I know you didn't dig it as much as I did, but
I did like it.
Shit, I loved it. That's probably my number one favorite new one, but I also like deeply loved You Won't Be Alone.
Yeah.
That was really high for me. Bones and All, I hadn't seen before. It was really important for me. I really loved Morgiana, Spirits of the Dead, Blonde Death, of course.
Oh yeah, that's
Biggie,
a big one.
Biggie. And Soon the Darkness, I really loved. The original Stepford Wives, I hadn't seen before, and I really, really loved. Blood and Satan's Claw, I really loved that I hadn't seen before. But yeah, like the biggies were like, if I had to pick three, it would be Litane, Blonde Death, and You Won't Be Alone.
Yeah. For me, it was Safe, which I hadn't seen. I loved it.
God, you hadn't
so
seen
much.
Safe before.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I had never seen The Virgin Spring, which I deeply loved. What else? I'm looking through the list. Oh God, you're gonna be so annoyed. probably my favorite first time watch this year was Baby Blood.
Yeah, I know that. I'm well aware of that.
And
We both picked polarizing French movies.
That's like probably one of our most heated episodes is Baby Blood, because I insisted that we watch it immediately because I had seen it and loved it. And Drusilla hated it so much. And the whole episode is just like Drusilla shitting all over Baby Blood. But I got the same thing that you got for Twisters. Is like a lot of people that were like, I don't know what's wrong with Drusilla. This movie is amazing.
I'm clearly in the minority on this because a lot of people I respect love this movie. And I don't get what they're smoking. Which then takes me to the other side of the coin. What's your least favorite thing we watched this year? Could be something you've already seen before.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything that You know, this
I know
is
you
like
liked Mother more the second time.
I did like it more the second time. I gotta say, I was kind to it. I tried not to shit on this movie because people really like this movie a lot, but I don't particularly like it, is Green Room.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Which I had seen. I'm not that into it. But I was trying to be enthusiastic about the aspects of it that I do like, because I didn't want to be shitty to people.
Yeah, but I understand. It's not for everyone.
Yeah. I'm looking through this. I don't think there's anything that we watch that I don't like. You know, it's funny. Like, I have such a reputation for being a hater, but I don't think it's really true.
I think you're just a lot more vocal, vocal and passionate, like in combination. So you kind of have a bit more of that reputation. I think I'm more of a hater.
You're more of a hater than I am by a lot, actually.
By a lot more than likely. But my I'm either like just won't talk about things publicly, or for the most part, I'm just very bubbly and upbeat and like just want to talk about the things that I love.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine kind of brought that up recently, like kind of going over my Letterboxd and just talking with me about movies. And we're like, you like everything. What like? And I'm like, no, I don't.
I have just really broad taste.
I have there's a lot that ticks my boxes, and if I'm into a lot of different things, and if those things do well at being that thing, then perfect, more power to them. I can swing from fucking dad movies to like animated movies to
I think your taste is much more broad than mine is,
Gorehound shit and art.
My thing is, like, I think I seem like a hater more than I am because in a place like, Blue Sky or Instagram, like, I don't really like 3-star movies that much. Like, I don't want to go see a big blockbuster 3-star movie. I like really arty-farty movies and foreign movies and indie movies, or I like absolute trash gonzo B movies. And I don't really like a lot that's in between, which is the majority of what other people watch. So in terms of our podcast, there's like not that much that we could watch that I would like really, really
exactly.
hate,
I'm not going to make you watch Beetlejuice for the podcast.
Right, exactly. Here's Edie. Edie's joined us.
Hi, Edie. Oh, it's me, baby girl. Oh no! What are my arms doing? She's gonna freak out. I'm thinking windshield wipers. There were a handful of movies this year that I personally didn't love. That we talked about, and I'm sure listeners could yell them at their iPhone that they're listening to right now and guess which ones they were.
Baby Blood.
Baby Blood is definitely one of them.
Under the Skin.
Under the Skin is definitely one of them. And then Inside, I think I would also include.
I wasn't really into that one upon rewatch either.
Yeah, I didn't love Inside. And then Santa Sangre still kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It was fine and it was interesting and it was better than other films of his that I'd seen. And if I had to like pick a favorite from him, I would probably pick that one, but I still wouldn't like choose to watch it again.
Yeah.
And then like there were some surprise ones this year where like I fully expected to loathe Taxidermia, and I actually like.
I really liked that.
I think I really liked it. Like the more time goes on, the more I'm like, yeah, super grotesque visuals aside, like I had a really good time with it. I was
It
also
kind of reminds me of You Won't Be Alone. That's kind of an interesting double feature.
that they kind of would make an interesting double feature.
Yeah.
The way they kind of like move through time and through
Mhm.
identity. That's not a bad one. I also, even though this was my pick, I kind of was afraid and thought I was gonna hate I Saw the Devil, but I also kind of like shockingly
Yeah,
love
that's
that
a great
one.
movie.
I really had a good time with that one. And I had a lot of fun making you watch a lot of old 30s and 40s movies this year.
I love
or
them.
like Spanish and Italian gonzo shit from the 70s.
I'm into it. Sign me up.
It's been a very good run. Like, we've had a pretty solid year. And we had some really special guests either join us or come in while you took some time off. That like absolutely knocked it out of the park. And hopefully we can have people like that stepping in a bit more in 2025. Maybe we'll have an episode that neither of us are on. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. I don't know how we would arrange that, but I'm sure it could be done, and it would be pretty interesting.
It'd be like, in sitcoms when you're like multiple seasons in and they'll be like, we're just going to go to the hairdressers for a minute. And then you stay at the hairdressers for the next 20 minutes with characters you've never met before because they're trying to shoehorn a spin-off in.
Yeah. It was funny to edit the Eyes of Fire episode with Steak Mountain because he talked so much shit about me because I wasn't there. And then there I am editing the show to post it, and he's talking about how much he hates folk horror and ragging on Oddity, even though he knew I loved it. It was like he wasn't meaning to, but I was like, damn, this guy is really coming for me.
I love Chris so much. I love Steak.
Of course, he's the best.
He's a big supporter. He was the first person to ever message us after the show started. It's like, I want to be on that. And we had chosen Eyes of Fire before you had to take time off. So it wasn't like the usual thing of guests coming to bring a movie. Like when BJ came after that, we specifically watched a movie that I knew BJ was going to love.
Yeah.
That like BJ and I kind of like corresponded together on. But like, yeah, that was funny.
He's the best. I love him. I love his grumpy ass. Talk about a hater. He's like class A.
He's king.
Top of the heap hater. I mean, he turns it into an art form.
That's his brand also.
It's the best. It's the best.
That's his
I love a hater. I just don't think I am actually one.
Well, and he takes it to the next level because I'll constantly like message him and be like, oh my God, your new work is sick. It's so gorgeous. It's so killer. And he'll be like, nah, I phoned it in. It's ugly. It's shit. I'm taking it off my... I posted on my Instagram yesterday and I hate it. I'm taking it down. I'm like, all right. Like every 6 months, I'll like go back to look at his Instagram and there'll be nothing there. And I'm like, oh. He's a self-hater. And that's very impressive. We love him so much.
Happy New Year, Steak Mountain. We love you, Chris Norris. Well, listen, this was one of my favorite movies of the year. Top 3. Should we get into it?
Oh, yeah.
This is a movie that you can go and see in the theater right now, and you should.
This is maybe the first movie we've ever discussed on the show that has a novelty popcorn bucket tie-in.
Yeah, I guess The Substance didn't have one today, although it should have.
There should have been an activator vial popcorn bucket.
Yeah, like a giant syringe. From 2024, directed by Robert Eggers, this is Nosferatu.
Come to me. Come to me. I've never shared my secret with any soul.
You've had these spells since childhood. Tell me what you can from the beginning.
It is like a dream. It was our wedding. When we turned around, everyone was dead. The stench of their bodies was horrible. Standing before me was death. But I'd never been so happy.
It has been such a long time since I was looking forward to a movie as much as this one. I mean, from the time that it was announced, when it was supposed to have like Harry Styles in it, weirdly.
I forgot about that. It was. I think he announced it right after The Witch. This was supposed to be the follow up to The Witch.
That's right, and in some ways, this is like kind of a spiritual successor to The Witch. I would say it feels very different than The Lighthouse or certainly The Northman, which is very different. So I was just so excited all year for this. I was watching all of the casting announcements. I was very grateful when they replaced Harry Styles with Nicholas Hoult, who's wonderful. So I was a little nervous to see it. It had really high ratings. The rating has gone down on Rotten Tomatoes, I've noticed, after the holidays, but the advanced word from festivals and from critics was really good. I know that you had seen it early, I think for work stuff, and you had really liked it. And some other friends had seen it early as critics and really loved it. And so I was like, oh no, I hope it's good. So
I hope I don't hate it.
I want to like it. I want to like it. So I saw it on Christmas Day in my hometown, which is Paulsbo, Washington, a very normie, middle-class, rural Washington town. Pretty packed theater. And people seemed to be really into it. People really liked it. I also saw The Witch opening night, and I remember people snoring really loudly throughout it and people walking out. So I really liked it. I thought it was super beautiful. I gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd. I think it's weirdly kind of commercial for Robert Eggers. It feels like much more accessible than his other work, and in a way that I mean as value neutral. I like his inaccessible work, so I'm happy to have either thing, just sort of noting it. And I loved it. What about you?
I've been a big fan of this movie for a while now. I saw it over a year ago.
Right. Did your agency or your old agency?
My current agency did the entire campaign for it, and so I got to work on that as well. Unfortunately, none of my pieces were used, and I kind of had a small depressive spiral because of that. I'm going to be entirely honest.
Of course.
Which was really hard. But the owner of my agency was kind of didn't know I was going through that, but then had a separate thing with me where he was like, you're like, this is what you do. I'm shocked they didn't go for any of your stuff. And I was like, okay, that's validating at least. Okay.
Yeah.
He loved all my pieces, so that's at least satisfying and gratifying to have heard that. Because you never get compliments out of people that own creative agencies. So that's nice. But I had actually gotten, and the final pieces are by Brian O'Dell, Inigo Lugdu, and Steven Spencer, and they're absolutely fucking stunning. They're
great.
Really, really, really incredible. Steven's character piece is whew. But I had actually seen it before that. I've seen it 3 times, which weirdly, this is the most I've seen a Robert Eggers movie. And it's the brand new one that just came out. I saw it in September of last year.
Whoa.
Yeah, I saw it in September of last year. A friend of mine is on a list for advanced preview screenings for the general public to so that the studio can see what the general public will think of it and stuff like that. And she reserved 4 tickets, and we went as a group. And I loved it then. And then a few months later, it was announced that it was coming out Christmas 2024. And we were like, it's not even Christmas 2023. What the fuck? So we had to wait so much longer. And then I got to see it over the summer with my agency over at Focus. And then went on Boxing Day, the first day of Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, and went to go see it on 35 at the Chinese Theater with a packed house, which was really, really, really fun. So I've seen it 3 times.
Did you notice any changes throughout those viewings?
No, they didn't change a thing.
Okay. Interesting.
That first, when we went to the test screening, and I like both between test screenings and from industry screenings that I've been to, sometimes it'll be like an unfinished film. Maybe the score won't be in there, or the effects won't be there, or like things will be fine tuned. I know I saw Lisa Frankenstein at an industry screening, and the final product was, I loved it when I first saw it, but then the final product was even better and was like totally re-edited. Not totally, but like, tightened the screws in a great way. The version that I saw in September 2023 is the exact same movie that's out in theaters right now. Nothing changed.
I wonder if
far as
Robert
I could
Eggers
tell.
had final cut and just like wouldn't change anything.
He probably, this is his second film with Focus, and his getting his thing at Focus was a huge deal. I would be shocked if he doesn't have final cut. But also I think doing all those test screenings is what made them have the confidence to do this as a Christmas release, which shocked me.
Yeah.
That this is like a big Christmas release. It's the biggest opening weekend a movie released by Focus Features has ever gotten. It's the biggest opening weekend he's ever gotten. It did $40 million.
Well, that's great.
Insane.
Yeah. It has a budget of $50 million, so I hope that's okay. I hope that's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that is good. It'll like more than make back its marketing and P&A spend on top of its production budget very soon. That's also not taking in international. That's just US.
Right. No, I know. But The Northman had like a $90 million budget movie and was a huge commercial failure. I mean, I like the movie a lot. I think it's beautiful. But so I was like, I bet Nosferatu is going to have like a $10 million budget. But I was wrong.
The production money and budget and value of this movie is on the screen. Every frame of the film. The costume
could the movie
design,
be
the
any more
design
beautiful?
is every time they like turn a corner or go somewhere, I'm like, there's no way they built all of this. Yeah, they built all of this. Like,
and the acting is so good too across the board. The actor Aaron, what is his name?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. People messaged me, like 3 different people are like, "Is he any good?" And I was like, "I don't know who he is. I think he's great in the movie, but apparently people think he's bad for some reason."
So Aaron Taylor Johnson got his start in the Kick-Ass movies. He's the lead in Kick-Ass.
Okay.
He is married to oh god, what is her name? He is married to Sam Taylor Johnson, the British director who directed him in the movie Nowhere Boy, about where he played John Lennon like as a kid. And she's significantly older than him, and he was younger than like the age of consent when they first met. When he was an actor. And she was directing him, and now they're married. She was like 40 or something at the time. And
wow.
And they're still married.
All right.
And people jump on that all the time. I mean, he's been in a lot of stuff that, there's no way you would have seen. Like The Fall Guy, Avengers, Age of Ultron, Godzilla, The King's Man, Bullet Train, Tenet.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll never see any of that. But
I liked Bullet Train, and I thought he was very, very good in Bullet Train. I'd kind of always been not a fan of his because I had seen the Kick-Ass movies when I was in like high school or something, and thought he was not great. I also hate Nocturnal Animals. I hated that movie. So I've had no interest in him. And then when he was in Bullet Train, I was like, ooh, he's good and hot. Oh no.
I had no idea who he was. People just seem to have this idea that he was a bad actor. Was my impression, and I was like, no, he was great. I mean, everyone in the movie is so great, and he has a smaller role, so he is like kind of outclassed by, Lily Rose Depp, who's incredible.
Lily Rose Depp is incredible. I know it was very public that Anya Taylor-Joy was the original choice for the
who's
character
also
of Ellen.
incredible.
Who is also incredible, and I think she dropped out of this to shoot Furiosa instead or something like that. And she, of course, had just done The Menu with Nicholas Hoult. So a lot of people I've spoken to have been comparing her and Lily Rose Depp and like criticizing Lily Rose Depp's performance by saying, well, Anya Taylor-Joy would have done this. And I don't think that's fair.
No, Lily Rose Taylor. Lily Rose Taylor. Lily Rose Depp is phenomenal in this movie, and Anya Taylor-Joy would have been good too, I'm sure, because she's incredible. But the performance we get is phenomenal, and Nicholas Hoult is phenomenal. They have real chemistry together.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it.
It's a very, very, very bold, out there performance that sticks the landing. I think it's great. I think it's also worth mentioning that if you're going to make a contemporary horror movie that is set in olden times, you are required by law to cast Ralph Ineson in it, and he does a great job.
Yeah, I wish we had more of him because he's really great.
We get a lot of him, and it's big shoes to fill, the role of Dr. Seavers, or if you have seen a movie called Dracula in any iteration, Dr. Seward. We'll get into that. That's a really hard part to play, and it's a really pivotal one for exposition. And it's really hard. You got to be able to bring a lot of gravitas to that role, but also a good bit of the same thing that Nicholas Hoult is bringing. A lot of that like deep in bone terror and dread that needs to read under this kind of like cracking veil of confidence. And Richard E. Grant did an incredible job of that in the Francis Ford Coppola version of Dracula from the 90s.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the best version of that character that's been on screen. And then Ralph Ineson shows up and does an incredible job.
He's incredible. I also really loved Simon McBurney as Herr Knock, which is the Renfield character in this.
Oh,
fabulous. Yeah. And of course, I mean, it has to be said, Bill Skarsgård as the titular Nosferatu is like unrecognizable.
Truly.
I mean,
he's nothing in there. It's all. I will also warn people who haven't seen the movie yet. He looks nothing like Max Schreck or any prior version of Nosferatu, of Count Orlok that's been depicted on screen. This is, in the way that people online will describe a biblically accurate angel, this is book accurate Dracula. This is like how he's described by Bram Stoker in the opening passages of the book. And it's properly scary. And unlike the Coppola version, which then is like, okay, but now he's a sexy boy in a top hat.
Yeah.
You just stay with that the whole movie while you still have the eroticized nature of it, which makes it so lovely.
Well, that's an interesting point of discussion because almost all versions of Dracula or Nosferatu or vampire movies in general are kind of typically about repressed sexuality in some way. And that's in here too. But for me, and some people I've seen talk about how horny this movie is. And I'm like, I actually find it probably the least horny version of Dracula I've ever seen. And to me, the movie felt like it was about depression. And,
very much so. It's about the death drive.
Yeah, exactly. Ellen, the character of Ellen is very depressive. She's been depressive her whole life. And to me, Nosferatu here is the embodiment of her suicidal ideation or her self-destructive
made
nature.
Manifest. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so I thought that was the clearest take on Nosferatu that I've seen between the silent one, the Werner Herzog version, and then all the Draculas too. You know what I mean? Like it has the clearest thesis, I guess.
Yes. Oh, very, very much so. And I've spoken to people, critics and general public alike, that are kind of like befuddled by the eroticism of this movie, and they kind of feel like she's being like blamed or shamed, and kind of or don't get it or just like, oh, that was a fun horny ride, and like just being like, I also want to fuck him, and not getting past that. I like talked to a friend who's a critic, and I was like, and I brought up the like suicidal ideation, death drive aspect of it, and was like, oh wow, I hadn't even thought about suicidality as like an element of this movie, and I was like, you should see it again.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm a person who has depression, and my whole family has depression of one sort. And I had suicidal ideation off and on my whole life. And so for me, I just like latched into that immediately. And so maybe it is even me projecting that onto the movie, but it seemed very clear to me.
It was a very clear read to me too. So what does that say about us, or Or maybe it's in the text. I mean,
I saw a critic on Rotten Tomatoes say that the movie was hard to follow. This is a professional movie critic, and I was like, "Bitch, are you stupid?" Like,
it's the plot of Dracula. You've probably seen it 70 times.
Even if you haven't, it's very clear and very simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I will say I have a friend in the Midwest who saw it on Christmas Day and loved it and had a great time, but was saying that when they left the theater, people in front of them queuing out were like, that was just a Dracula ripoff. What?
I love that. One time when I saw obviously this is like 25 years ago, when I saw the first Lord of the Rings movie in the movie theater, as I was leaving, I heard someone go to someone else, you can tell they're going to make a sequel. It's like, I love when people are so stupid and like not ashamed of it.
They'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
We've also forgotten to mention, in my eyes, the most important performance of this entire movie, Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. He's great.
Willem Dafoe shows up 2/3 of the way into this movie and steals the show. Which is what's going to happen when you put Willem Dafoe in a movie.
Yeah. It's almost like campy, but it really works because, I don't know, it taps into kind of the gothic melodrama of it all in a way that some of the more grounded performances don't. I mean, a gothic piece like this is a melodrama too, right? And so his performance is really dancing on that line. It's really funny at moments, but it's also grounded and scary.
He adds levity to it, and like intentionally. There are like the way he offers a character schnapps at one point is intentionally funny. He has a few moments that, because he's kind of like a kooky old man, to quote the like Mel Brooks Hitchcock movie High Anxiety, Professor Little Old Man, like that's his role in this. And he plays it to that level as like you kind of need to, but also keep in mind in the Coppola version, Anthony Hopkins is doing the same shtick. Anthony Hopkins is also playing it with a comedic undertone.
It's
like true. That's very, very important. It's also so wild to me that this is the second version of Nosferatu that Willem Dafoe has been in.
I know, because he was in Shadow of the Vampire.
Yeah, where he played Max Schreck, the actor playing Count Orlok in the silent film. It's so goddamn funny to cast him to be in this movie. And genuinely, he gives a great performance. There's a scene where he's in a crypt with a torch and a shit ton of rats. That's one of the best and most exciting things I've ever seen Willem Dafoe do in a movie. And I love him so much.
So I guess to talk about some of the things that are... So this is the story of Dracula and Nosferatu. I'm sure every listener of this has seen one version of either of those or both of those.
And for listeners that don't know, Nosferatu was just a legally distinct retitle of Dracula because they thought they could get away with doing Dracula, and then they got a cease and desist from his estate, and they just changed their names.
So they were ripping Dracula off, and then they got sued. And in fact, I think I remember from our Werner Herzog episode that they were ordered to burn every copy of this film. So it was thought to be it was thought to be a lost movie for a long time, and some brave souls hid it away because when Dracula became public domain in the late 70s, suddenly there was Nosferatu again.
Yeah,
some version of that is what happened. So it is literally a ripoff of Dracula, always has been. But that shouldn't discredit it because the original Nosferatu, of course, is one of the most beautiful films ever made. It's a work of German expressionistic art, and it's one of the most visually influential movies of all time. So it's not a knock on this. I did see someone on Blue Sky say, like, why did Robert Eggers choose to make the ripoff instead of an actual Dracula movie? Which I thought was an interesting question, but also like, if you're somebody who's inspired by aesthetics, like it makes sense to me that you would reach for Nosferatu rather than Dracula. Do you know what I mean? It's like, depending on what you're interested in as a filmmaker, you know, it totally makes sense to me to reach for Nosferatu.
Absolutely. And also, like, Nosferatu has been remade once, and there has been an American movie about the making of Nosferatu, but Nosferatu itself holds a kind of more horrifying general public view than Dracula does. Dracula as a character and as a name has kind of gotten a bit of hokum attached to it over 100 plus years through like cartoons and Count Chocula and like and Bela Lugosi's performance, like kind of like that Hungarian accent kind of being like turned around and around and around and around over a century into kind of being a joke. To a little degree, to the point where in like to make a production of Dracula either on the stage or on the screen work, you have to have a character introduce themselves by saying, "My name is Dracula," and the other person has to go, "Wow, I've never met you before. What a great hello, Mr. Dracula. Nice to meet you," essentially. Yeah. Whereas the contemporary audience is like, "Bitch, that's Dracula." Like
yeah.
It's helpful to like obfuscate it through the lens of the Murnau version, which again, we as like a general audience have a more horror relationship to because it has a bit more of the distance to it. And I think a lot of audiences have a little bit of like a general fear of like spooky old weird black and white silent films. And of course, you know, a whole generation was more like scarred by him popping up on SpongeBob.
Yes. And also, even if you haven't seen Nosferatu, you've seen the famous clip of it where he's like, you know, sneaking into the bedroom over top because it was like on Muppet Babies and shit. You know what I mean?
It's just because like, it's public domain.
Yeah, it's public domain. So it's literally everywhere. When someone is watching an old horror movie inside of a movie or TV show, it's going to be Night of the Living Dead.
Yep.
Or it's going to be Nosferatu.
Or
maybe Haxan.
Maybe Haxan if they're cool. Or if they're really cool, Carnival of Souls.
Yes. It's one of those because of public domain. So some of the choices that make this different that I think are interesting. I think it's been years since I've seen the silent version, but we open on Ellen, played by Lily Rose Depp, who is saying a prayer in the darkness of her room, you know, in tears, being tormented by her own crazy depressive brain. And she reaches out to something, maybe God or whomever, for help. And so that sets up the theme that the person who answers her is Nosferatu, and he's obsessed with her from Eastern Europe and creates this whole plan to get to Germany, where this movie is set, and be with her. And I just thought that was such an interesting and good choice because, again, it clarifies what he wants as a character, why he's obsessed with her connection and attraction to him, and underlines that thing we talked about, the death wish. And so for me, that was just like such a brilliant, clarifying early moment in this movie. I just loved it.
It really establishes the theme of the movie in the first 5 minutes while also being genuinely very, very, very scary and establishing like the visual language and tone of it, like right out the gate. Like, this is what you're in for. This is what's going to be. Strap in. This is what the rest of the movie is going to be about. I was also just thinking again about how, like, again, the opening is all about her suicidality and her mental illness and her death drive. So it's very clear and upfront to you. And then I remembered that also the tagline for the movie, which was supplied by Robert Eggers, I know from having worked on the campaign, is "Succumb to the Darkness."
Oh yeah, exactly.
Succumb to the Darkness is literally an elaborate way of saying kill yourself. Like,
yeah. And the sexuality we do get in this movie that we get in all the Dracula iterations, in this version, the reason it's not that horny to me is it's standing in for dying here, which it is often in Dracula, but here it's like very clear and very direct.
Yeah, but and like, you know, it's the French Le Petit Mort. Like, it's the it's the erotic desire of death, or like for someone that is, you know, unwell and unstable, the perception of death as a like euphoric release, like, is all wrapped up inside there, which is like, if you read textbooks on and scholarly theory on the vampire and on the legacy of the vampire, they're always going to talk about the vampire as a signifier, as a regional depiction of death, because a lot of it comes from the concept of revenants and people being buried alive and the fear that people are going to come out of the grave and the kind of memento mori of it all. And also the eroticized nature of it, which is like a little bit in the Stoker, what more than a little bit in the Stoker novel, because the Stoker novel is more or less about Bram Stoker's homoerotic desire
Homosexuality
for an actor he worked with. And you know, that's been read and interpreted like so differently over the years as being a misogynistic text or as being a xenophobic text for the, you know, for so many different reasons. But in general, any scholar like writing about like the legacy of vampires from Carmilla to Stoker to Edward Cullen in fucking Twilight is always going to talk about the like eroticized nature of vampires being an aspect of the general human like push-pull, reversion and attraction towards death.
Yeah, totally. I also want to talk a little bit about the aesthetic of this movie. I'm a big interior design fan, of course. The interiors in this are so beautiful, all the way from, you know, the ruins of the castle in Romania to the interiors of the homes in Germany. This is set in the start of the Victorian era. We're seeing a lot of Victorian design come into interior design right now. And I just kind of felt like there's going to be more Gothic movies coming out, which I am hoping for. I was thinking like between this and Oddity and people getting interested in the Ghost Stories for Christmas stuff on Shudder, I just feel like there's like an appetite for this like old world Gothic kind of horror movie. And there's been really a big appetite
for folk horror in general since The Witch, honestly. Yeah. And since Kayla Janice's documentary, it's really had a big rise and comeback. So I hope we get quite a bit more. There is a new horror movie coming out called The Damned.
Yes,
which does.
I saw a trailer for it.
Which does seem to be
a period piece
in a similar vein. Which lovely, is great. Guillermo del Toro tried to revive the genre almost 10 years ago, and we let him down as a country.
I know. I saw that for my birthday when it came out. Crimson Peak, we're talking about, of course,
which is incredible,
which we both love.
Yeah.
But I mean specifically period pieces set in the Victorian era, because I love them. I love a period piece anyway. I'm a sucker for them. There are some people that's like an X and they just like do not get into period pieces, but man, oh man, I really love them.
I love a period piece, and I love a horror period piece in particular, which, you know, doesn't immediately preclude something to be or not be Gothic, but this is both far and away. Speaking of the visual aesthetic of this movie, this is one of Robert Eggers' visually most like beautiful movies from like a cinematography and a color timing perspective.
Yeah. The shadows in this are just like next level good. The use of shadows.
And the like Carpathian like village and castle are just,
I loved all of that shit.
Gorgeous. And the way that as soon as night falls, the movie is, for all intents and purposes, black and white.
Yeah.
It's there's values of blue and purple in there, but it is truly black and white in color in a way that so many filmmakers aspire to, and so many audiences will be turned away from a movie if they think it's in black and white. But this movie is like, during daylight scenes, it's even very desaturated, and you do get some skin tones, and you get like the like really like shocking pops of red from a fireplace or from someone carrying a torch. But for the most part, this movie is like 70% black and white, which,
and I know that you and I complain about desaturation a lot, but if there's any movie you want desaturated, it's Nosferatu.
Yeah, in this movie, blood is like black. It's so gorgeous.
But we do get some color in the costumes at various points. The costumes are really beautiful. Yeah, a lot of lilac. Do you know, speaking of costumes, recently I read this, I don't remember where I read this, but you know, the Hollywood trope of like Victorian women standing in a line, like doing their corsets up and how you like can't breathe. That's a Hollywood myth, apparently. And the person I saw post it was like, give women more credit. Do you think that women would have worn these for like 500 years if they were that painful? They were replaced by the bra. But before the bra, women wore corsets and they were not uncomfortable at all. Or like not any more uncomfortable than a bra is. So I thought that was like an interesting thing that I was like, oh, wow, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I love Victorians at horror. I mean, Victorians love death so much that this is, you know, like they made death into fashion with their like very formal mourning practices and their expensive mourning dresses. They would go on dates to cemeteries and just have a picnic at a cemetery. They made art of their dead loved ones' hair. We just think of Victorians as so repressed, but not when it comes to death. I guess because people just died so easily then that you kind of had to make a celebration of it in a way.
That's very much like the perspective that this movie has. This movie is repressed when it comes to sexuality. It's repressed when it comes to mental health. It is repressed when it comes to desire. I mean, there's a point at which Ralph Ineson's Dr. Sievers, who is like a psychiatrist that they know, finds out that their new patient, which turns out to be Herr Nocht, is being held in a dungeon. And he says, "What are you doing? This is a modern hospital. You're not supposed to do that." But then one scene later, or a scene before, he's there with Ellen, and he's like, "She's stark raving mad. You must bleed her."
She's got too much blood in her.
Yeah. You need to put her in a tight corset and make sure she sleeps in that. It's good for the it calms the uterus. And you're like, yes, a modern hospital.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, you know, when we covered the movie Gothic, which is set in the Romantic period, which is before the Victorian era, it was the Victorians who came up with the term Romanticism because they were like, oh, they were like romantic. They weren't modern and civilized and scientific like we, the Victorians, are.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It just goes to show you, you're never that sophisticated. You're never that right. There's like a kind of presentism always at play where we think we're right. We have all the answers. The people in the past were marks or idiots or whatever. No, you're always a mark. You're always an idiot. And we are too. And like the future will not look back kindly on us, most likely.
Oh,
especially not us.
Absolutely not. Yeah, especially not in this era. Good God.
Yeah. What else to say about this? Anything besides it's amazing?
I genuinely cannot believe that, first of all, like we mentioned, The Northman was not a financial success. So the fact that Eggers was still able to make a big, lavish Christmas release. This had a bigger release and a bigger like marketing push than The Northman had by a lot.
Yeah.
The fact that he still kept the confidence of the studio to go ahead and even further with this is shocking and very impressive. And I mean, that's the like, there's not enough creative, in like singular directors that are getting those kinds of chances. Hopefully more female directors with those voices can have those chances. I would love to see the director of The Substance getting a crazy, amazing chance like that next time. I mean, granted, The Substance was made at Universal originally, and then they backed out and sold it off. So
and they backed out because she wouldn't compromise on anything. Apparently, that was a very difficult shoot, including with Demi Moore. Like she fought with the director all the time, and now she's on the other side of it, being like, "She's amazing. I'm so proud of the movie." Blah blah blah. But during the movie, not her tune on set.
Yeah. Coralie Farge is the one who came out of that looking the best. So in what we're saying about like in the moment you're gonna look foolish in the future, we're talking about everyone except for Coralie Farge. She's gonna be correct in the future. Exactly. But the fact that like we got a $50 million big budget Dracula Nosferatu version that's horny and weird and full of rats and boobons and Willem Dafoe and cats and like an erotic desire for death and Nicholas Hoult and a high collars looking like a dandy lad. And it's doing bang up numbers. I I had such a great time with it. I deeply, deeply, deeply loved it. I'm such a big fan of Robert Eggers. I'm such a big fan of vampire movies. I'm such a big fan of like this movie is just like bait for me.
Me
and
too.
It's been so exciting kind of how much of a crossover hit this has kind of been. People that if I like that are like in my circle and around me that aren't super into movies that like find out that I like movies that they're like, oh yeah, I want to go see like, you know, the new Ant-Man, and I'm like,
enjoy.
Cool. I'm glad you had fun. Like what right now they're all talking about Nosferatu. They all want to go see Nosferatu. They're all like, that looks freaky and crazy and weird and awesome. Oh my god. And like,
yeah, I saw it with a totally normie small town audience who were completely into it, and I'm sure that would not have been the case with The Witch, which actually would never have played in Paulsbo, Washington.
Yeah.
You know?
The Witch didn't play anywhere in Indiana. I had to like fly out to California.
Yeah.
I didn't fly out to California to see The Witch. Right. So if Robert Eggers asked me, I might say that to his face. But it worked out in my favor.
People keep sending me this. It's from Film Updates is where I saw it. But apparently there are discussions of Robert Eggers writing and directing a remake of Labyrinth. And I don't know how to feel about that because I love Robert Eggers and I love Labyrinth. But that feels like tuna fish and peanut butter or something to me. Like I'm not sure about that combination, and I don't know if it's just a rumor, but like 3 different people have sent it to me because they knew that I loved both of those things. So interesting.
Yeah, that's odd. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a version of that would kind of do a similar thing for me that would make me a little like, I mean, for instance, like I love The Music Man. And I love Bye Bye Birdie and musicals and stuff like that. And I also love, let's say, a lot of different kinds of. I love like weird ska bands and heavy metal bands and shit like that. So if you told me that, like, I don't know, fucking
Einsters Annoyed Balton.
No, I'd be into that. But if you told me that, like, I don't fucking know. The Interrupters are gonna do like a concept album based around fucking The Music Man, or like do a live like production. I'd be like, what? I was about to say, if you told me that Guy Madden was going to direct an Ocean's sequel, I would be like,
I mean, it would be so good.
I'd be into it. Sorry.
It would
First
be
of all,
so good.
Guy Madden can do anything. And the way they describe Derek Zoolander, Guy Madden could take a shit in tinfoil and hang it with fish hooks. And I'd be like, earrings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes a combination is so crazy that it could work. But I do know that I watched an interview with Robert Eggers after The Northman, and the interviewer asked him, would you ever consider making a movie that was not a period piece? And he was like, not really.
Yeah.
He was very honest about only wanting to make movies that are set in the past.
Him and Todd Haynes.
Yeah.
I just kind of hope that he sticks with more original stuff. Granted, Nosferatu, of course, isn't. And I think that's totally fine and great. And, you know, I'm sure there's plenty of amazing Gothic books for him to adapt. But I just... In an era where Barry Jenkins is making a Disney Lion King prequel, I don't really have much interest in watching Robert Eggers take on the Henson Company. That seems weird to me. Granted, I would say Robert Eggers doing a Christmas Carol. There you go.
Interesting.
Not a Muppet Christmas Carol, but a Christmas Carol.
It is interesting because I think that this movie, like I said at the beginning, is a lot more commercial than the movies he made before. And in a good way, the movie is very accessible and enjoyable to watch, but still challenging in that Robert Eggers-y kind of way. It'll be interesting to see what he does next. I hope that he continues to challenge and provoke. I bet he will, because he seems like somewhat uncompromising. But yeah, I'm interested for sure.
I will say, if Robert Eggers has any sorts of plans to adapt Labyrinth, more power to him. But I think then it's only fair to let the Henson Company do a Muppet version of Nosferatu.
I would love to see a Muppet Nosferatu. They haven't done a horror thing yet. They need to.
Like, do you remember I don't know if you saw it, but
the count is right there. Just use the count and do Dracula.
I was gonna say, fucking, this year, the Vertilac came out, and the vampire of the Vertilac of the title was played by a human-sized puppet.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I, in the same way that like Michael Caine is the one human in Muppet Christmas Carol, I would love to see Muppet Nosferatu, where Lily Rose Depp is the only human performer, and the rest are all like Kermit the Frog as Nicholas Hoult in this would just be incredible. And then, you know, like who's his little like nephew that's like a baby frog? Robin getting absolutely fucking yeeted by Nosferatu in that one scene. It would be great.
The only problem with that is that then we're missing out on Miss Piggy being Ellen.
Well, Miss Piggy would be Emma Corrin's character.
The friend, who, by the way, I don't know who Emma Corrin is. That for 20 minutes, I was like, why is Jenny Slate in this movie? It's so distracting. She looked exactly like Jenny Slate to me.
That's funny. Emma Corrin, who I'd never seen anything before this, I thought did wonderfully. And then in all the marketing and stuff I've been watching, has a very like non-binary look to them. And I'm like, really? Oh, cool. You're just like playing a very femme Victorian character in this. Yeah. Good for you. That's awesome.
Love it. Well, thank you for listening to this episode. Happy New Year to all of you. Thanks for spending another year with us. We love you and we're so grateful. You can follow us at BloodhousePod on Instagram. You can email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. Drusilla, where do people stalk you these days?
You can look at my work over at sisterhydedesign.com. A bunch of my stuff is up there. And you can also follow me on Letterboxd. If you look for Drusilla Adeline or Sister Hyde, you can find me on there and see all the Peter Greenaway movies I've been watching lately. There's been a lot more. And on Instagram, if you look for Sister Hyde, you can follow me on there. That's kind of the main one. What about you, Josh? How can people throw open their sash and let you into their lives?
I'm popping off on Blue Sky these days. Really loving it over there. It seems to be. It's really fun. Not bad vibes so far, like Twitter was. Blue Sky, Letterboxd, and Instagram at Joshua Conkel. Next week we are watching a fun one. I don't know. I've never seen this movie. But there is a very special 4K Blu-ray coming out at the end of January. So we're plugging it early. What is it?
Next week we will be delving into the depths of yet another slightly gothic rural folk story brought up to the 1940s, involving supernatural sciences and Nazis and some real weird... You didn't know that was in this movie, Josh,
no,
did you?
I didn't know it. I don't know the first thing about this movie.
It's about Nazis.
Okay.
And it's directed by someone that Josh has only started getting into because he doesn't like quote-unquote guy movies, dude movies. So he had a little bit earlier this year with Manhunter, and now we're going to get him really manned up with Michael Mann's The Key.
Can't wait. Very interested in that one. Thanks for listening, and Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.